Every time something breaks around the house, a little voice whispers, "Just call a pro." But here's the secret those pros would rather keep quiet. A huge number of home fixes cost almost nothing and take just minutes. Today, I'm sharing 25 handyman tricks that can save you a small fortune in service calls. Grab whatever's rattling around in your junk drawer, and let's get started. Number 1. Free a strip screw with a rubber band. We've all been there. You're trying to back out an old screw, and suddenly the head strips, leaving your screwdriver spinning uselessly in a smooth, useless hole. A handyman would tell you that you need a special extraction kit. You don't. Grab a wide rubber band and lay it flat over the stripped screw head. Then press your screwdriver firmly into the band and turn slowly. The rubber fills the gaps in the damaged head and grips the screwdriver, giving you just enough extra traction to break it loose. The key here is patience and pressure. Push down hard, turn slowly, and don't let the tip cam out. For really stubborn screws, a thicker band works better than a thin one. It's a 30-cent trick that has saved countless weekend warriors from an expensive trip to the hardware store. Number 2. Fill small nail holes with toothpaste. When you take down a picture frame or a shelf, you're left with those little nail holes dotting your wall. You could buy a tub of spackle, or you could reach into your bathroom cabinet. Plain white toothpaste, the paste kind, not the gel, works surprisingly well as a quick patch for tiny holes in white or off-white walls. Just squeeze a little onto your finger, press it into the hole, and wipe away the excess with a damp cloth or a putty knife. Now, a fair warning, this is a temporary cosmetic fix, best for renters trying to get their deposit back. Toothpaste can shrink or crack over time, and it won't hold paint the way real spackle does. But for filling a few small holes before an inspection, it's fast, cheap, and it's probably already in your house. Number 3. Ease screws into wood with a bar of soap. Driving screws into hardwood can feel like an arm workout, and if you push too hard, you risk splitting the wood or snapping the screw. Carpenters have known this fix for generations. Before you drive a screw, rub the threads across a dry bar of soap. That thin coating of soap acts as a lubricant, dramatically reducing the friction as the screw bites into the wood. The screw glides in with a fraction of the effort, and you're far less likely to strip the head or crack the board. Beeswax works too, if you have it, but a cheap bar of soap is something almost everyone keeps around. This trick is especially handy for oak, maple, and other dense woods where a dry screw simply refuses to cooperate. Your wrists will thank you. Number 4. Sharpen dull scissors with aluminum foil. Dull scissors are one of the most annoying tools in the house, and people toss them out all the time when a 2-minute fix would bring them right back to life. Tear off a sheet of aluminum foil, fold it over on itself several times to create a thick layered strip, and then cut through it with your scissors. Make a series of full-length cuts, 10 or 15 of them. The soft aluminum smooths out tiny nicks and burrs along the cutting edge, effectively honing the blade. It won't restore a truly ruined pair the way a proper sharpening stone would, but for everyday kitchen and craft scissors that have just gone a little dull, it works like a charm. As a bonus, you can ball up that same foil afterward and use it to scrub rust off garden tools. Number 5. Lift carpet dents with ice cubes. Move a heavy couch or bookshelf, and you'll find deep, ugly dents pressed into your carpet where the legs sat for years. Most people just live with them. You don't have to. Place an ice cube or a few right on top of each dent and let them melt completely. As the fibers slowly absorb the water, they swell back up and regain their original shape. Once the area is damp, gently fluff the fibers back up with your fingers, a spoon, or a fork. The science is simple. Carpet fibers are crushed flat under weight, and reintroducing moisture lets them relax and stand tall again. Let it dry fully, give it a quick vacuum, and those dents that looked permanent will vanish. It cost you nothing but a couple of ice cubes and a little patience. Number 6. Peel off stickers and labels with a hair dryer. Whether it's a price sticker on a new gift, a decal on a window, or a label baked onto a jar, sticky residue is maddening. Scrape at it, and you'll usually just make a gummy mess. Instead, aim a hair dryer at the sticker on its hottest setting for 20 to 30 seconds. The heat softens the adhesive and reactivates the glue's grip, so the sticker peels away cleanly in one piece, often with no residue left behind. If a little gum remains, a dab of cooking oil or a squirt of penetrating spray wipes it right off. This works on everything from glass and plastic to painted walls, and unlike harsh chemical removers, there's no risk of damaging the surface underneath. Warm it up, peel it off. Done. Number 7. Clean a clogged shower head with vinegar. If your shower has gone from a powerful spray to a sad, uneven trickle, the culprit is almost always mineral buildup, hard water deposits clogging the tiny holes. A plumber might charge you to swap the whole fixture. Skip that. Fill a plastic bag with white vinegar, slip it over the shower head so the nozzles are fully submerged, and secure it with a rubber band or twist tie. Let it soak overnight, or at least a few hours. The acetic acid in the vinegar dissolves the calcium and lime deposits that are choking the flow. In the morning, remove the bag, run the water for a minute to flush everything out, and scrub any leftover gunk off the nozzles with an old toothbrush. Your shower pressure comes roaring back. No tools, no plumber, and just a couple of dollars of vinegar. Number 8. Disguise wood scratches with a walnut. Scratches on wood furniture and floors seem to appear out of nowhere, and refinishing is a pricey, labor-intensive job. Before you go there, raid your snack stash. Take a shelled walnut and rub it firmly back and forth along the scratch, going over it several times. The natural oils in the nut seep into the exposed wood, darkening it and filling in the fine groove so the scratch blends into the surrounding finish. Then rub the spot with your finger to warm the oils and work them in, and buff it with a soft cloth. This works best on light to medium scratches in real wood, not deep gouges or laminate. But for those everyday marks on a coffee table or hardwood floor, a single walnut can make them practically disappear. Pecans work in a pinch, too. Number 9. Clear a sluggish drain with baking soda and vinegar. A slow-draining sink does not always call for harsh chemical drain cleaners, which are rough on your pipes and your lungs. There's a gentler routine that keeps drains running clear. Pour about half a cup of baking soda down the drain, followed by half a cup of white vinegar. You will hear it fizz as the two react. Let it bubble and work for 10 to 15 minutes, then flush it all down with a kettle of boiling water. For grease-based slowdowns, that blast of boiling water plus a squirt of dish soap does a lot of the heavy lifting on its own. This method is best as regular maintenance to keep buildup from forming and to knock out odors, not for a fully blocked pipe, but run it monthly, and you will head off most clogs before they ever start. Number 10. Lift pet hair with a rubber glove. If you share your home with a dog or cat, you know that pet hair works itself deep into couches, car seats, and rugs, where the vacuum just glides over it. Sticky rollers run out fast and get expensive. Slip on an ordinary rubber dish glove, dampen it slightly, and run your hand across the upholstery. The friction and static cause the hair to ball up into clumps that you can easily grab and toss. It's genuinely astonishing how much fur a vacuum leaves behind that a rubber glove pulls right up. The slightly damp surface is the secret. It grabs the hair instead of just pushing it around. Rinse the glove off when it gets covered and keep going. One glove lasts forever, which makes those disposable lint rollers feel like a scam. Number 11, find hidden leaks with soapy water. Whether it's a hissing tire, a leaky propane connection, or a suspect airline, tracking down exactly where a leak is coming from can feel impossible. Handymen use a trick so simple it almost feels like cheating. Mix a little dish soap with water and brush or spray it over the suspect area, the valve, the fitting, the seam. Wherever gas or air is escaping, the escaping stream will blow the soapy solution into a cluster of growing bubbles, pinpointing the leak instantly. This is the same method professionals use to check gas lines and tire valves because it's reliable and safe. No flames, no fancy equipment. Once you spot the bubbles, you know exactly what needs tightening or replacing. It turns an invisible, frustrating problem into something you can see with your own eyes. Number 12, catch drilling dust with painter's tape. Drilling a hole in the wall to hang a shelf always leaves a little pile of fine drywall dust on the floor and baseboard. It's not a disaster, but cleanup is a nuisance, and there's a slick way to avoid it. Before you drill, stick a piece of painter's tape or masking tape just below where the hole will go, and fold the bottom edge out to form a small pocket or shelf. As you drill, the falling dust lands neatly in the folded tape instead of scattering everywhere. When you're done, peel off the tape, dust and all, and drop it in the trash. No mess on the carpet, no dusting the baseboards, nothing tracked across the house. It's the kind of tiny, thoughtful trick that separates a tidy pro from a messy amateur, and it costs you one strip of tape. Number 13, locate studs and drop screws with a magnet. Don't have a stud finder handy? A simple magnet can do the job. Studs are held together with nails or screws, so if you slide a strong magnet slowly across the wall, it will tug slightly when it passes over that hidden metal, revealing where the stud runs. A strong, rare earth magnet works best, and you can even tie it to a string to sweep it more easily. Once you find one fastener, studs are typically spaced 16 inches apart, so you can measure over to find the next one. That same magnet earns its keep in another way too. Drop a handful of tiny screws behind a workbench or into deep carpet, and a magnet on a stick will sweep them all up in seconds. For a couple of bucks, it replaces two tools you'd otherwise pay good money for. Number 14, free sticky windows and drawers with candle wax. Wooden windows that won't budge and drawers that screech every time you open them are classic old house problems. You don't need to sand or plane anything. Grab an ordinary candle and rub the wax generously along the tracks, runners, or channels where the wood rubs and binds. The paraffin wax acts as a dry lubricant, letting the surfaces glide past each other smoothly instead of grinding and sticking. Because it's a dry lubricant, wax won't attract dust and grime the way an oil would, and it won't stain the wood. Work the window or drawer back and forth a few times to spread the wax into the friction points. Suddenly that stubborn drawer slides like it's on rails. A leftover birthday candle can fix half the sticky wood in your house. Number 15, silence squeaky hinges with olive oil. That door that announces every entrance with a long horror movie creak is one of the easiest fixes in the entire house, and you don't even need to buy anything special. Put a drop or two of olive oil, cooking oil, or any household lubricating spray right at the top of the hinge pin. Then swing the door back and forth several times to work the oil down into the joint. The squeak, caused by dry metal rubbing against dry metal, disappears almost immediately. For a longer-lasting fix, you can tap the hinge pin out, wipe it clean, coat it lightly, and slide it back in. Wipe away any drips so they don't stain the floor or the door. 30 seconds of effort ends weeks of that nerve-grating noise, and it's a repair no one should ever pay for. Number 16. Shine tarnished copper and brass with ketchup. Copper pots, brass fixtures, and old hardware lose their luster over time, turning dull and brown. Commercial metal polishes cost a fortune, but the answer might be sitting in your fridge door. Squeeze a layer of plain ketchup onto the tarnished metal and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. The mild acids in the tomatoes and vinegar break down the oxidized layer, the tarnish, that dulls the surface. Then rub it with a cloth and rinse, and the metal emerges bright and gleaming. For stubborn spots, add a pinch of salt to the ketchup to give it a gentle scrubbing action. It sounds ridiculous, but this is genuine chemistry. Acid dissolves the copper oxide, revealing the shiny metal underneath. Rinse thoroughly and dry well afterward, and those tired old fixtures will look brand new. Number 17. Erase floor scuffs with a tennis ball. Black scuff marks streak across hard floors from shoes, furniture, and who knows what else, and scrubbing them by hand is a backache waiting to happen. A tennis ball is the pro's secret weapon. Simply rub the scuff mark with a clean tennis ball, and the marks lift right off. The fuzzy felt surface of the ball has just the right amount of gentle abrasion to erase the rubber and scuff residue without scratching or dulling your flooring. For scuffs down near the baseboard, cut a small X in the ball and stick it on the end of a broom handle so you don't have to bend over at all. This is exactly the trick janitors use on gym floors and school hallways. One old tennis ball can clear scuffs from your entire house. Number 18. Protect your car doors with a pool noodle. If your garage is tight and you're forever nervous about dinging your car door on the wall, here's a fix that costs about $3 and takes 5 minutes. Take a foam pool noodle, slice it lengthwise down one side, and press it onto the garage wall right at the height where your car door swings open. Now, when you fling the door open a little too enthusiastically, it bumps into soft foam instead of hard drywall or brick. You can attach it with a couple of screws, strong adhesive, or even double-sided tape. Do the same on a support post if that's where your bumper tends to drift. It's cheap insurance against dents, scratches, and that sickening crunch. And it's a whole lot cheaper than a body shop visit or a repainted door. Number 19. Scrub a cast iron pan with coarse salt. Cast iron cookware is prized for its seasoning, that slick non-stick layer built up over time, and dish soap can strip it right off. So how do you clean stuck-on food without ruining it? Pour a generous amount of coarse salt into the still warm pan and scrub with a wad of paper towel or a stiff brush. The salt acts as a natural abrasive, lifting away stuck-on food and grease while leaving the seasoned surface intact. Wipe out the salt, rinse quickly with hot water if needed, dry the pan thoroughly over low heat, and rub in a thin coat of oil to protect it. This is how cast iron has been cared for over a century. Do it right, and one pan can literally last for generations, which is exactly why the pros treat it this way. Number 20. Fix a sticky lock with a pencil. When a key starts sticking in a lock or a padlock refuses to turn smoothly, most people reach for an oil-based lubricant. That's actually a mistake because oil attracts dust and grit that gum up the lock even worse over time. Instead, rub the teeth of your key back and forth across the tip of an ordinary graphite pencil. Then insert it into the lock and work it in and out a few times. Graphite is a dry lubricant, so it slides the internal pin smoothly, without collecting the dirt that oils do. Repeat a couple of times until the key turns freely. This is the correct professional way to lubricate a lock, and it's why locksmiths keep powdered graphite in their kits. A pencil you've had since grade school can save you a service call. Number 21. Loosen a rusted bolt with white vinegar. A bolt seized solid with rust can bring an entire project to a screeching halt. Before you resort to a hacksaw, let chemistry do the work for you. Soak a rag in white vinegar and wrap it tightly around the rusted bolt. Or, if you can remove the part entirely, submerge it in a container of vinegar. The acetic acid slowly eats away at the rust that's welding the threads together. Give it a few hours or overnight for a really stubborn one. Once it's soaked, tap the bolt gently with a hammer to help break the bond, then try your wrench again. The vinegar loosens the corrosion enough to let the bolt finally turn. It's slower than a commercial penetrating oil, but it's cheap, it's non-toxic, and there's a good chance you already have a bottle in the pantry. Number 22. Keep screws from loosening with clear nail polish. Screws in things that vibrate like fans, appliances, furniture, and even eyeglasses have a habit of slowly working themselves loose over time. There are pricey thread-locking compounds made for this, but there's a version already in most bathroom drawers. Put a small drop of clear nail polish on the screw threads before you drive it in, then tighten it as usual. As the polish dries, it hardens and grips the threads, holding the screw firmly in place against the vibration that would normally back it out. The best part is that it's not permanent. A little extra force will still break it free when you actually need to remove the screw. It's the perfect fix for that wobbly cabinet knob or the tiny screw in your sunglasses that keeps falling out. A tiny dab is all it takes. Number 23. Keep mirrors fog-free with shaving cream. Nothing's more annoying than stepping out of a hot shower to a completely fogged-up bathroom mirror. There's a cheap trick that keeps it crystal clear. Smear a small amount of shaving cream across the mirror, then buff it off with a clean, dry cloth until the glass looks clear again. The cream leaves behind a thin, invisible film of surfactants that prevents water droplets from condensing into fog on the surface. One application typically keeps the mirror clear for a week or more of steamy showers. It's the same principle divers use to keep their masks from fogging. You can use this on bathroom mirrors, car windshields, and even eyeglasses. A cheap can of shaving cream you already own does the job that pricey anti-fog sprays charge a premium for. Number 24. Pick up broken glass with a slice of bread. Dropping a glass and shattering it is bad enough, but it's those tiny, nearly invisible shards scattered across the floor that end up in someone's bare foot days later. A broom misses them, and a paper towel just pushes them around. After you've swept up the big pieces, press a slice of soft bread firmly down over the area where the glass broke. The soft, slightly sticky texture of the bread grabs the tiniest slivers and dust-sized fragments that everything else leaves behind. Just be careful not to press so hard that you cut yourself, and toss the bread straight into the trash when you're done, never near food or pets. It's a simple, effective way to make sure the last dangerous little pieces are actually gone, so no one gets a nasty surprise later. Number 25. Keep your paint can clean with a rubber band. Anyone who's painted a room knows the frustration of that rim. Paint pools in the groove around the top of the can, drips down the sides, and makes the lid nearly impossible to reseal. Painters have a dead simple fix. Stretch a rubber band vertically across the open mouth of the can, running right over the center. Now, every time you load your brush, drag it against the rubber band to wipe off the excess instead of scraping it on the rim. The paint drips cleanly back into the can, the rim stays empty and clean, and your lid actually seals tight when you're finished, keeping the leftover paint fresh for next time. It's one of those tricks that seems too obvious once you see it, yet almost no first-timer knows to do it. Your future self will be grateful. See, you don't need a pricey service call for most of what goes wrong around the house, just a little know-how and some everyday items you already own. Try a few of these the next time something acts up, and keep that hard-earned cash in your pocket. Thanks for watching. If this saved you a future repair bill, smash that like button and subscribe so you never miss a trick.